To see the tables in the database, we are going to click on the database, and then we are going to see, click on the database that we want to see, and then you will see the list of all the tables that are in that database. So this is one of the tables actually. And these are the fields that it has, the fields in the table. As you can see, there are some fields in the table with data in there. ID, title, detail, volunteer, info. So these are some of the fields and the tables and the data into them. When we look at the tables in PHP MyAdmin, there are some operations that we can perform. We can browse, we can use a structure, search, insert, empty, and drop. So let's look at each of them. I'm going to show you, you can look at the PowerPoint, and I'm going to show you live how it works right now for each of these functions. So we are back into our tables. So you can see for this, I'm going to go click on Browse. And in the Browse, we can see these details. It's showing 4 total rows that we have here and the fields that we have. So if we want to edit each of these records, we can click on this pen like, and now we can edit them. So like I can put the values in here. I can, change the value for the ID. I can change the title. Let's just try some things, and I can choose some of the characters, change it, and then sorry, I had to save it here. So you can see that it got changed. So you can change the details of each field by actually clicking on this pen button. The next icon is structure. So we're going to click on the structure, and in here you will see the structure of the table that we have. So you will see the field name, ID, title, detail, volunteer info. You see their type, their correlation, their attributes, if they are null or not, and all of that. And you can see if it's a primary key and all that. You can see the space usage. So you can even make them add indexes. So in here, I just click on index, and you can see that my table got altered, and it is saying that I'm adding index ID in here. So if you want to, make any change, add an index, or make something primary key, you can do that using this area. Alright, so you can see the space usage and row statistic. What I have changed or whatever can be obtained here. The last that it got updated was February 15, 6:52. Through the search action, you can do a search query by clicking on search, and you can just use maybe a wildcard or something to find something in the table that you have, because sometimes our tables are huge, so we can just use the search query to find something. So for example, I want to find in the title field everything that has the word H in there. So I'm going to use the wildcard here, and I'm gonna hit the button that says go. So in this example here, you can see that it is actually finding this field that has the word hello in there. So, and you can see the SQL statement that got executed. Select a star from sign up sheet where title like this, the wildcard. So everything that has H before and after, like the word like H, same as H, it will find this. Let's try again. I want to find anything that has, maybe I use 1% and A in there. It might not have any, but I'm just gonna see if there is any record. So there is nothing. So you can see that we returned an empty result because there's nothing. If we go and look at our table, you can see that there's nothing that has A in there. We can also click on insert, and we can insert a new record into our table. So I'm going to insert a record. And say go. Oh, because I already have something that has the value 2, so I cannot use the same thing. I'm going to use 20 and say go. So you see one row inserted with these values. And you say go. And then we are going to go back to our browse. And you can see that I have inserted a new row that's called Lila. This is a test. This is whatever I just did. And the ID is 20. These are some of the rows that I just deleted, but I don't have any information, any detail in it. So I can just click here and delete them. See, one row deleted, another row deleted, another row deleted, another row deleted. So you can see if even if you cannot use the same primary key because you already used it. So the database is going to check to see if you are using a different ID. And as you saw, it didn't let me add it. So I had to give a new ID. Export, you can see that you can export the rows from here. You can do it either quickly or with custom display more options. You can actually export it in various forms: PDF file, SQL, CSV, Excel, and this is a great tool. A lot of people, once they create their tables here, they might want to export it into an Excel or something. They can do that. Another field we are going to explore is empty. When we click empty, it's going to actually keep the table structure, but it's going to delete everything that's in that table, the records. So I'm not going to actually do this, but you can actually keep the structure of the table, but actually get rid of all the records. And drop, you can basically hit drop, and it says you are going to destroy this table. It means you're going to delete this table, and I don't want to do that. So you see, it's a good thing that all of these let you decide if you want to delete it or not. So you can actually drop the table from here, and you can see the details of each table. It has 5 rows, 2 rows, 10 rows, and so on. We can always go back to databases, and we can create a new database. So I can just create something like this is a test. And always the correlation is normally you can use you can just, use the default there. And you can see that there is no table, so we are going to create a table. This is a test table. And we say go. Then we need to create our field. Means ID, for example, maybe first name, last name, phone, and then we think about the data types and so on. And I can say go. I just leave them as this. And I can go actually down here and then see the table that I have created. So I'm going to add this, and I'm going to go back here to my server. And you can see this is my database. So I'm going to click on it. And I think I forgot to save the table name. So I'm going to actually create this again. Yeah, I forgot to hit the save button. And I'm going to do this again. ID, first name, last name, phone. And I'm not going to change anything else. I just want to show you the table that we created. So save. So as you can see, this is my database name. This is test. You can see database. And then in there, you have a table that's called this is test table. And you have created a structure for it, but there's no data into it. Created this table. And we want to see the structure of it. And you can see that we have created the structure of this, but we haven't added anything in there. I'm just going to come here and also put the ID as a primary key. And remember, you can always click on this and you can change things. So right now the phone is integer. I can leave it as that and say save. But another thing that I don't want last name and first name to have integer type, because it's only going to be number. I'm going to change them to varchar. And these are the length of the values. I'm just going to leave it as that. And I'm going to change the type of this one. Also maybe to, this is integer, which is fine. The other one was first name. I'm going to change that also to varchar. And the correlation by its default, it will change to the Latin Swedish. In order to insert data into our table, we just click on insert, and then we can add the records in there. So the ID we want first to be I, first name, last name, and then the phone number. And then say go. One row has inserted with these values in there. Oh, I forgot. I shouldn't have hit. So we click on browse, and you can see that there is some records into here. First name, last name, and then the phone number. So let's insert another data in there. So we are going to click on insert. And I'm going to put 2. And it's going to be John Doe. And say go. So one row inserted with all this information. These are the columns. These are the values that we entered. And then we hit browse. You can see second row. The data is inserted. So let's do insert again. And then we come here. We put like maybe 5. And then we put Mary Jones. And then say go. Oh, it even gives us some warning, out of range value for the phone. So you see the length of it. So we say it's okay for now. See, this one is shorter, this is longer. So, and you can see these are the records that we have entered into this table. The last thing I'm going to show you is going to be a backup. So you can export all of this. So we can actually export all these rows if we want to. As you can see, you can say in quick one, and you can see we can save this SQL file. And then, import it in whenever we need it. So this will back up our table. You can also click on custom to see. You can see if you want to dump some of the rows or dump all the rows, you can actually select that. We want to have all the rows. And you can actually have an option to save it where, file name as a table, the character and all that. So you can actually save that in there. And there are other options that's available for you. that if you want, you can actually play around with this. And if you want to bring the file from backup, you can click on import, and then you hit browse, and then you actually select the file that you have downloaded it and imported back into your database. So you can actually do that. This is it for this part. I hope you have enjoyed this module. Have a good day. Bye bye.